So, I guess we're live. Is that right, Harrison? Are we live?
Yep, we live.
Yeah, right. Love that. So, welcome everyone to the CubeCon panel for the London project, and it's live. That's what I wanted to say. I've been waiting to say that. I'm your host, Boss Crazy, and also we've got the lovely Haribo Harrison, who's going to be also co-hosting this with me. Should we introduce you, everyone? Shall we? Hey, chat.
Yes.
Should we? Let's introduce them. So, here we go in the order of them being in the chat. We're going to introduce Jack D. If you could come to the stage for me, buddy. Hello, hello, hello. You can unmute. So
Hi,
you
you
can
right?
speak.
How's
It's
it
fine.
going?
Yes, good mate. Good mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good mate.
Yes,
Good.
love to
Glad to
see it.
hear.
Love to see it. Great, great, great. Now let's bring on Jay. Jay?
Hello
Jay,
there.
do you want to come on? Jay? Okay,
I'm-
perfect. He's here.
Picked up my
Ah.
skin.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Oh, I like your skin. Looks
Picked it
beautiful.
up.
Looks beautiful. Right, next we're gonna bring on Piberius.
Hello.
I love to see it.
Hello.
Is that a red panda?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Red pandas!
Hello.
We love it. We love it. We love it. And last but not least, Team Traction.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. And also whoever's over there, you can come on as well. Come on. Come on.
It's my sister.
But yeah, this is the London project, ladies and gentlemen. Mate, let's hear from them yourself. So let's start with you, Team Traction. Do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, no worries. Right, I'm Team Traction. You can call me Brad, that's fine. I'm one of the founders of the London project. Been doing this, for about 2 years now, on and off. And which is our goal is pretty simple: build London in Minecraft. We built this venue that you're in right now.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love the enthusiasm. I love the build. You know, you've done a great job with the place, guys. Well done. Next, Jay.
Hi.
Hi. How are you? Give us a little introduction of yourself, mate.
Yeah. My name is Jay. But you can call me Jay. Very bad though. But,
Jay
yeah,
and Jay. Okay.
I'm the head builder of here, so I've built quite a lot of the big builds like Warslew and the XL. Yeah, I can show you that later. And I handle a lot of the build applications and things like that. I've been with the project since it's really started to take off, which is around about last October. And it's been really great, and this project's really helped me to stay in Minecraft, because before I've been on and off. So yeah, it's been great working with this project.
No, love to see it, my dude. Love to see it. Right, let's bring on next the one, the only fireman, Jack D. Oh, Piberius, he thought he was ready for that. He was ready.
Nah.
He was ready before he was getting this.
Never mind.
Right, yeah, well,
So give us
hi
a little
guys.
bit of introduction.
I'm Jack. I've been with the project since the very start. I'm one of the other co-founders, along with Team Traction and Piberius. We date back to the Great Haviland server, which Pi will probably get into in a while. Way back when, we all sort of met there, and we sort of regrouped about a year and a half ago and just said, you know what, why don't we just try and build London? And obviously a year and a half later, here we are with a fair chunk of the city already built and plenty more to go.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Also, love the skin. Liking the rocking the look of a fireman there. Love it. So next,
what
if
I
we
do,
can
my
bring
dude.
up Piberius, the one, the only red panda man.
My name's Piberius, but a lot of people call me Pi. It's just easier. I'm the founder of the project. I originally started the project about 2013. The server used to be called Great Haviland, and it's been on and off since. And about a year and a half ago, as Jack just previously mentioned, now we've just started up again with a whole new map created from UK sort of government data, LiDAR. They flew a plane over London, took a bunch of laser data, and now we have access to that in Minecraft.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Well, I know Kian's not here, but does anyone want to just explain his job or what he does?
Kian is one of our architects, so he's one of the core people who just give help with building. He helped with the build of this map, and he's also built some stuff in central London. He's an awesome guy as well.
All right, perfect. Well, if I hand you back over to Harrison, who will give me the rundown of what we're doing next.
Okay, so we have been presented with a wonderful PowerPoint presentation. I think you guys want to go through that first, and then we'll take a walk around the venue.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to go through the PowerPoint. So just say when you're ready and you've got it up.
Yeah, we got it up.
We got it
Awesome.
ready. Love to see it. So, let's go, Harrison. Which one are we on? First one, yeah?
Yeah, we're on the All of London slide. It's
All of
beautiful.
London. So
All
who
of
wants to
London.
speak about this one then? Who wants to give a lovely little talk about all of London?
Jay, you can take that.
Okay, yeah.
Love
So
to see it.
as Pi previously mentioned, we used well, it's not satellite data, but we use that because it's a simpler term. It's basically just bounced light from a plane, so it's pretty accurate, and it gives us a very good kind of general model of the whole city. We've generated basically the whole city and the whole metropolitan area, including the M25, the orbital motorway. It goes as far as the Dartford Tunnel. It's got Heathrow on the map. It goes very, very far out indeed. And we've also overlaid OpenStreetMap data, which helps us a lot. And the reason why we've chosen London is, well, because we're all from the country, but also it's probably one of the most fascinating cities to build in Minecraft, and also synonymously very, very hard to build as well. So it's been a good challenge.
Wow, that sounds really good. Lots of obviously data. I assume that's took you quite a long time to get a lot of that data together to be able to build it as accurate as you have.
You'd wouldn't believe it, but somebody has already created a script in Linux sort of based program. You just run the script, type in the postcode, and it does it all for you.
Wow, that's actually crazy. That's actually crazy. Right, moving on to the next slide, we've got Visit London. Who wants to speak about that one?
Shall I? I can go ahead for it. Yeah, basically, it is our goal to create the most immersive experience as we can within the game. As we've said, we've used this LiDAR data, which it's a perfect template. But then obviously we then go ahead and detail all of those, all of the basic map, because it's just basic. It gives us like brick outlines of everything. So then we just go and build on top of it and make it look just like it is. So using Google Earth to get all the right angles, obviously using tons of reference images. And then another thing that we're doing is building a working transport network. So with plugins like train carts, which people normally use for roller coasters, we're importing 3D models of tube trains and buses and all that, and actually having them run in where they would be in real life, all on the curves and everything. I mean, you would have seen it in that little preview trailer. We have working what they call S stock, which works on the line, circle line, and the district line. So we're gradually working on expanding that network. So at some point, you'll be able to come on the server as a tourist, go into one of the underground stations, and actually commute as you would in reality, sit in the trains and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, this is actually crazy to see how in depth and how accurate you guys did it. What sort of challenges did you come across trying to like get as accurate as you could?
Oh, well, the
So-
challenge is, yeah.
I've got an answer to this.
Yeah, take it.
The first main problem with Minecraft is the 1 meter scale, because every block is 1 meter by 1 meter. A lot of things in London are smaller than a meter, so a lot of the buildings might not have quite the right number of windows because just the way it lines up. That's probably the biggest challenge we have
Mhm.
is actual building scale, because windows generally aren't a meter wide.
No,
So
yeah.
Okay, well,
Brad, if you would add something to that, didn't you?
Yeah, and there's also, I think another limitation we have is the limits of what Minecraft can handle, because obviously we're pushing it to its limits, doing it what we are with all of the trains and stuff. We really have to be mindful about what we use and how much we use, because if we were to make every railway in London fill it with a actual service pattern of the real trains, the server would crash before we start. because it just Minecraft can't handle it. It's not a game built for it. So you have to be very conservative about what you do and don't include, and very mindful about. You have to draw a line between what is needed and what is just window dressing that maybe we'd have to do without and make those compromises. And it's challenging. We do have quite a lot of discussions about what we should and shouldn't include. I mean, our plugin list is bare essentials just to try and keep everything down and whatnot. And then one more thing I will add as well is render distance is a very big limitation. We're looking into trying to do some single player renders of the map just to really get a sense of scale. But with the render distance, even Optifine getting it to about 32, you can barely see anything just because of how Minecraft works. And it would be awesome. I mean, in real life, if you stand at Charing Cross, you can see all the way down the river to Tower Bridge, but there's no chance you'd be able to see that in Minecraft unless you do like a dedicated still chunky render. So that's another big limitation.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go on.
Oh yes. There is on what Brad just said just now on choosing what we put in the map. One thing we really can't do is interiors, simply because the buildings are too small and the entity limit on Minecraft. If the more entities we have in a building, say I don't know, signs on the side of a chair, it's going to create more lag. So we've had to opt out of doing interiors, mainly as well because we don't know what they look like. We have great maps outside in the streets on Google Earth, Google Maps, that sort of thing, Bing Maps if you're into that. But we have no clue what the interiors look like, and we're trying to make it as realistic as possible. So if we put it in an interior that wasn't quite real, someone might note this and go, "That's not quite right." Yeah. That's it.
I'll just follow up. Yeah, so we generally don't interior, but we do interior something. So every train station is interioured, every tube station is interioured. I personally have a quest to interior every cinema in Greater London. There are particular special places, like maybe a theatre, which we may interior, especially if people really want us to do it. But we'll definitely do it accurately, and definitely not everything, like not apartments and offices and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think major landmarks is what we're going for. Anything sort of like Westminster Abbey or St Paul's could also be done.
They can be, definitely. I think you summed that up really well.
I'll say, yeah, that sounds really interesting with all the information you give us, guys, and it looks like it'd take you a hell of a lot of time to do any of this. But let's move on to the recruitment side, shall we? Because I think you've covered most of the train stuff on the previous bit that you did. Let's move on to the recruitment side. So looking at this PowerPoint now, who wants to speak on this?
I'll do that. So in terms of recruitment, the way we do things is that we have a Google Forms. It's pretty simple. It's just upload. I'll send a link to your Planet Minecraft or Imgur folder of what you've built. Just give it your best shot, and things like why you want to join the project and what you think you could contribute to it. Furthermore, if we accept you, then you become what is an apprentice, and we task you with usually a small build. Although some of our apprentices have taken on pretty impressive builds and got builders straight away, and if your build is satisfactory, then we'll essentially put it into the map, and you're one of us now. And then you can ascend to new ranks, foreman, and then architects, which are kind of higher builds. So yeah, we do have a very high build standard, and rejection does not mean at all that you're a bad builder. It just means that you have work and you can always reapply. It's one of the highest qualities of building that there is in terms of application. So it is a challenge, but it's also ridiculously fun, and it's a great challenge.
Yeah, well, it sounds really cool. Like, in terms of like the recruitment side, I guess that there is quite a lot of people that have sort of tried to apply for you guys. What sort of stuff do they have to go through in terms of like their apprenticeship stuff to actually become one of the bigger builders, like you mentioned?
So basically, they have to deadlift like 100 kilograms. And yeah, they have to hike 100 kilometers and stuff. No, once they're accepted, I usually just task them with a building. They just tell me what sort of building they want to do. They want to do a skyscraper or classical building or something small, or if they want to landscape or do a road, then I'll find them something to do in the area. I'll probably paste it into a storage world and get them to do it. And at the same time, I'll help them, especially with learning to do angles and the kind of, I have in the server I've made like a kind of instructions channel with different techniques and things. So it's all to help them. And then once if they survive the process, and their minds do not collapse into madness, then they're one of us.
Yeah, definitely. We're just picking up on what Jay said. One of the biggest things, challenge for new builders trying to join, is learning to work on angles. Because in London, we don't know what a straight line is really. Nothing is really built at 90 degrees. So you're going to have to learn to how to read angles off Google Earth, and then build them into the map as accurately as you can. And that's what throws most people off.
So, what is one of the main requirements in your Google Forms in terms of like previous experience you look for in a person?
Well, it's basically just your best shot. But if you want to do something now, if you want to apply now, and you want to maybe try something else, I'd suggest a recreation of anything. Doesn't have to be London, and B, try doing something on an accurate angle or a sort of a niche angle that isn't just 45 degrees. And if you want to do a recreation at an angle, that would impress us. If you even manage to remotely pull it off, that would impress us, and you could definitely get a role, and you could become an apprentice and a builder. So yeah.
Yeah, right. That sounds really good. Well, let's get onto your history then. Talking about the Great Haviland. If I've said that right, I'm
Yeah,
very
that's
bad at
Yes,
names.
yes. I've noticed we haven't got an image on that slide, but I'll go over that one. So
Yep, perfect.
originally, one of my mates, Fred Henry, whatever his name was, his
Henry.
Minecraft name was different to his real name. He created a server back in about 2013 called Great Haviland, and his goal was to recreate London at sort of a 1.5 to 1 scale, or well, it wasn't quite accurate, but it was to recreate London as realistically as possible. But bear in mind that was back in 2013. There's a lot of new blocks, a lot of new entities inside of Minecraft since then. So over the years, that map sort of became outdated quite quickly. And then it was about 2-3 years ago, we Team Traction can verify this. We tried to make a new map that didn't go down well. And it was about 1.5 years ago that I stumbled upon this LiDAR data, and we've really kicked this new project from Great Haviland into the London project since last year sometime. But if you want to check out any of the old Great Haviland stuff, if you go onto YouTube and type in "showing that game" all as one word, you'll come across all the old videos of that London project.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're all like it was a server of its time. It was good for back then, but obviously build standards and whatnot, they've increased a lot. And the first
Angles didn't
London,
exist back then.
yeah,
Everything was on a 90-degree grid.
yeah, the first London as well. I'll just say to mention that it was actually built upside down. I'm not sure how
Oh
that.
yes, that it was
Yes,
built
it
upside
was.
down.
Yeah, south was north and north was south. I don't get that, but hey ho, that happened. So yeah, once we tried to redo it, but it was just on a blank map, so there was not really much point of reference. So it was very out of scale, a bit out of wonk. So once that happened, I sort of lost contact with Pierce and whatnot. There was sort of a brief period when Great Haviland closed, just due to various reasons. We went our separate ways. We'll move on to slide 7, and this is about what happened then.
Mhm.
I still wanted to do London. In that interim period, I tried to do it on a Park server, but they unfortunately closed down. So that was my third attempt at trying to build the city. My fourth attempt, I said, right, fine, I'll do it myself. Do it on my own. So I discovered the LiDAR data a bit before Pierce did. Talking about just about
You're the one that introduced me to the LiDAR. Then
yeah,
your computer couldn't handle it. You asked me if I
No.
could render it or whatever it was.
Yeah, my computer at the time couldn't. But basically, I discovered it, but there was no proper tutorial on how to do it. So I tried generating it myself. I managed to generate about 2 kilometres of central London. As you can see from that slide, it looked a bit different because everything was grass and it was a bit out of whack because of the way I'd done it. I hadn't done it properly. So when we started building that London, but then that fell pretty quickly because of the bad map. And I actually got in contact with some other guys who we redid it, which was on slide 8, what we call the Euston Road era. We were with a couple of colleagues who managed to generate it properly in the current format, but then communications and friendship broke down there. So we transferred all of our build from that one to Pierce, who I then got in contact with, and we then transferred it onto our current map, which again is, like I say, pretty much 60 kilometers wide, so it's a huge map. And so this is, I think, if people have been keeping count in chat, I think this is my 6th attempt at London. So this is not a project I have just started out of nowhere. I've been working on and off on it since 2013. So it's a project really close to my heart, and obviously Pierce as well. Jay joined a couple of years ago when I posted it on Planet Minecraft.
No,
That's how
less than that. It was September, October last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But and we've slowly fostered a very small community, but it's very personal at the moment. But we have been the last 6 months really looking at expansion and growth, which like the panel yesterday was talking about, we are now trying to grow to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, love to see it, my dude. Love to see it. So, obviously, with the rest of your recent history and stuff, what was like your main goal in terms of like the project overall? What was your main goal in sort of trying to get it together?
The main goal is always just been to have a recreation there. That's always been my my dream, to have an accurate version of the map right there, and for everyone to explore. So it's always been the aim, and it's always fell just due to various. But we're a lot more stable now, and we're progressing as better than we ever have done before.
Just going to add to that, one of the main things is I started on the server about 2013, whatever it was, and up until now, it's just been a passion project. But since January time, February time, March time, COVID's hit, and a lot of places have shut. And one of the main areas that was hit was obviously the tourism industry. A lot of London is unvisitable at the moment with a lockdown. So if you've ever been planning to visit London, this is a great way to do it virtually, because you can visit anywhere in London. There's no fees, nothing. You can just go anywhere you want, see it all, and you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own chair at the desk.
Love to see that. We love to see that. So let's move on a little bit now. So let's meet the rest of the team. Who wants to talk about the rest of the team then, with the different types people that are here?
Jay, do you want to?
Yeah. So which slide do you want?
We'll meet the team.
We're currently 10, so meet the team.
Are-
Talking
are we
about
on
the
with
head builder,
the
the head builders, the co-founders.
Yeah, we met all those four, haven't we? So we can move on to the next one. I think.
Yeah, okay. We'll
Slide
move on
11.
to that one then, yeah.
Also, I'd like to add something. So basically, in terms of recent history, there was that slide about the Waterloo blocks. I'll just elaborate on that bit. So basically, in April-ish, once the thing with the other two co-founders, co-leaders sort of fell short, during that era, we decided that we want to kind of expand. So that Euston Road era was when we were trying to build around that area. So once we kind of came back with Pi and we kind of recouped our efforts, we decided to focus around the Waterloo Westminster area. And as you can see on the map, if you take Waterloo on the east and then you take Westminster Bridge down to go west to Parliament Square, take that big road up to Trafalgar Square, and then that big train bridge back to Waterloo. That's essentially the kind of zone, although it goes out from that. That's the zone that we intend to finish by January, and then we plan to move on to Aldgate in the city with all the skyscrapers. So that's going to be very exciting. And then back to the meet the team. So we have Econix, Hirewell, Kian, and Smee. The rank names are a bit outdated. We literally just changed our rank names. Architects are now,
As of yesterday, we've just upgraded
Yeah.
our server. Yeah.
and then masters have been called architects instead. So these are kind of our four most kind of, these builders have really been with us for a very long time. Hirewell basically soloed Trafalgar Square before we'd even done that, before we'd even decided to start that area. Smee actually is I remember when Smee came onto the server, she said that she was simply just coming on to have a look because she'd been planning to go to London, and decided to come onto this server instead because obviously she couldn't go. And she said, "Oh, I wish I could build in here, but I'm not very good." So I was like, "Show me some stuff you've done." And alas, she was actually a pretty good builder. And so I was like, "Okay, well, what build do you want to start with us first as an apprentice?" And she picked this massive building on the embankment right south of Charing Cross. I taught her the techniques, and she got it done in a week, and it blew me away. And she pretty quickly became one of our best builders. Econix has done. She did the war rooms building, and he started the building above that, so that's brilliant. Kian has also done a lot of stuff. He did a lot of work on the XL build, which I'll get onto later. And he's also just helps out. He's brilliant with like really detailed small trad facades. So it's really nice to have that attention to detail. So yeah, these are our four best builders apart from us four staff, and they've really been brilliant.
Wow, nice. It's nice to see, obviously, the progression that you guys have had with all your current team and stuff like that. It's really good to see. So, let's move on to obviously you building the venue that we're currently in, the Cubed. Let's have a little talk about that then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
Um,
Brad, just go tell them
I'll-
quickly about how you like secured it, and then I'll talk about how I built it.
Definitely. So basically, I was surveying around the map, our current map, and I've focused in on the XL Centre in East London in the Docklands, and I sort of thought that I thought it'd be cool to build that as a side project, and at the same time, Cubed had sort of started ramping up for this year. They were in staff. I actually applied for staff of Cube, got in as a mod, and then also they then announced on their staff channel that hey, we need an architect, and so I thought, put the two and two together. Um, and now initially I applied for architect, and I said we and my build team, the London project, we could build the XL for your 2021 venue, and they said, "Well, actually, could you do it for 2020?" So I was like, "Okay, let's try it." And yeah, we've just about pulled very close. We did have to get a little bit of help in from the Cube guys towards the end, just to get to that final push of decorating and whatnot. It's a very sort of tight time frame, but we've managed it, and we're really proud of from going from, as you can see, August 27th. It was just a brick cube that had just had some basic outlining, and I'm sure from there, Jay can talk about how he managed to outline it and do the structure of it. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, go on.
So I literally just finished doing Waterloo like half a month earlier, which was like another like really short but massive land like footprint area. So I was like, oh god, not again. But no, it was fun, and it was to be honest, it was easier than Waterloo. But it was still a big challenge. It was very fun, and as you might be able to see if you look closely, it's on a very slight angle, roughly about 3 degrees, but that's still basically an incline of about 5 meters when you go across 600-meter length. And then you can see, so September the 12th. So I basically outlined the kind of the contours of it, and then basically just filling it in. So that wasn't necessarily too tricky, but yeah, it was about just trying to make sure it is all accurate. And then November the 9th, slide 15, you can see I pretty much finished the sensor, the whole center outside, and then basically the rest of our team, so Smee, Kian, quite a lot of us had been basically working on this huge area of like apartments on the east. Slide 16, you can see all that. That's pretty much the extent to which we built on the east side, and on the west side we didn't build as much, but we got a good car park done, and all that. So
Nice
we
as well.
yeah. So we have basically the Excel Center on a map. We built 2 versions. So when I was building this, Tim Brad was busy, basically doing a Cube version of the interior, and as soon as we sent the version off to Cube, I just stripped the inside, just destroyed. I basically just got rid of the whole inside, and I basically decided, this is a place that I've been to, and it's like Minecon has been here and stuff, and Nightingale. So I was like, I felt like honoring it. So I basically just went around and I built the inside. The whole kind of hallway in the middle has been built slowly, and then I'm going to someday just do the rest of the venue. And so we do have the kind of the London version of the Excel on our map, and the kind of the big grand Cube version on the map. So it's 2 versions, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really goes to show how quick these guys can build, because it was about August time. I'd vanished for whatever. Well, I'd gone off and bought a car. I was doing up a car. I'd come back a month later, September, and the whole area was built. I was genuinely blown away with how much progress they made in that short a time.
Yeah, and also let's bear in mind half of that month, it was just when the new term was starting for uni, college, etc. So half of us were inactive for most of the time. So,
It's just A-level exam, well, not A-level exams, but the end of years of year 12 that was then delayed to the beginning of year 13. So I had all that to do. But yeah, I mean, during lockdown, I basically kept myself sane by working on this project. So that was nice.
It's a great outlet. So I do think as well, as we talk about the rest of the slide, we were going to have a little walk around the outside, weren't we?
Yeah, I think we should go and definitely have a little bit of a walk around. Everyone from the seats, if you would like to come and follow us, we will be taking our way outside. Paul, if you're on the stream and listening, if you can try and teleport them out, because I think they won't let them through the little parts, some of these people that are on the stage. But yeah, let's all go this way, guys.
I think we've been locked in.
Nah, it's not a problem.
Hang on, no, I think we are. No, yes, we're able to be locked.
But I can't out the area.
Oh, hang on. Oh,
yeah,
you
don't
guys-
worry. Don't worry, we'll get it fixed. Don't worry. Do not worry. Do not fear.
Cool.
We need Paul. Paul! For anyone in the chat, guys, that's in the Cube stream, if you have any questions you'd like to ask them for the end of the part on their Q&A session, please ask it now. I'll be taking note of any questions, so you guys can definitely have it. So feel free to ask now as well. But yeah, let's start heading out if Paul wants to save us.
Yeah. Paul needs to say. Unfortunately, I don't have the commands. Even though I built the place, I don't have the commands.
I have seen one question already. I'm going to answer. It's someone's asked, how do you get past the height limit of 256 blocks? As of currently, we can't, simply because of Minecraft's limitations. However, I have seen projects in the past, like Build the Earth, that have installed a mod. It's called Cubic Chunks, I believe it's called. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, it's called Cubic Chunks, or it basically makes every chunk a 16 by 16 by 16 area, and you can build as high as you want, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not using any mods, completely vanilla, only a texture pack.
Yeah.
So you can join mod free anytime from anywhere.
I mean, that's what surprises a lot of people when we showed the trains, because everyone says, "What mod are you using?" We're not. So we're going to try and stick to vanilla. So unfortunately, things like the shard, we're not going to be able to build in its full height because of the micro height limit. But who knows for the future, eh?
Yeah, we're kind of hoping Minecraft increases the height limit in 1.17 because of the mountain update. We're kind of hoping.
We're hoping, yeah.
The shard is the only
what we're
building-
going to do now.
I was going to say, just to add on, we've managed to make the map as such that the terrain height allows us to only have one building we can't complete, and that's the shard. The next tallest in London, which is, was it 1 Canada Square? Canary Wharf?
I think there's one taller, but I'm not quite sure. But we have managed to fit 1 Canada Square in.
I was going to say 1 Canada Square has got 1 block leeway on top of it. That's,
Yes,
that's
very
Yeah,
dark.
that
We
shows how
cut
close we have cut it. We're building
We
one
took
block
part of it.
from the world height.
So our
Sounds
plan,
really good.
our plan now is what we're going to do. We're going to head outside and we're going to just showcase some of the bits of the map that maybe people haven't looked around because we've been more focused inside with all the booths. But we have done more. So we're going to go outside. And I'm going to show you
We're
around.
all waiting at
Yeah,
the
definitely.
seating area
So,
outside by the
Harrison,
glass.
while you're here, my friend, do you have any questions? Because I know you are the co-host. You can ask your questions as well.
Well, I'm assuming that I'm guessing World Edit has been your best friend for this.
Yes, definitely.
Not
I
great.
don't think we'd been able to make as much as we've done without World Edit.
We wouldn't have been able to do anything really.
I mean, I generally build a lot by hand anyway. However, there's a lot of places, flat open spaces, where you just need World Edit for this project.
We'll regroup outside, let everyone catch up just on the main just outside the
And
glass entrance.
after this, we'll whiz through the Westminster Waterloo showcases, and then we have a little announcement, and then yeah.
Right, so we are outside the front now. We should head down these steps and showcase some of the Docklands area.
I've just read in the chat there now from Rushmead. He just said higher build heights might be coming to 1.17. Here's hoping.
We're hoping.
Jesus,
Everyone can hope.
The one thing I really want from Minecraft is wall stairs.
Oh, please, don't tease me. Concrete stairs as well.
Glass.
Yes, any
Glass
color. Yeah,
stairs,
glass.
slabs.
Every block type in stairs.
Yeah.
Right,
So
I
here we-
would like to just let you guys know that we do only have around 10 minutes left, so if we can try our best to get everything shoved in, that would be great.
Yeah. We can't really get past this area anymore, so
Yeah,
So,
we
but you
found
can
it.
see from here what the stuff was done.
just because of lag, but basically down there we've done this whole sort of cut area of apartment blocks. We've done things all built accurately as they are. Kian's done this build just here, which is a Premier Inn hotel type thing. As well, we've got all sorts of other things that we've got the yachts that's actually permanently parked there down there. Some of the open areas. Now, what we're going to say as well, if you want to see the rest of it, we've managed to build.
Yeah, I'm just going to say sorry to those who can't see any of the textures properly. We do use a custom resource pack to get around this. So if you want to see what London looks like properly, come join our server and install the pack. You'll see everything properly.
Definitely.
Currently, Harrison is going around doing a cinematic view of everything at the minute, so...
Oh, gorgeous. Actually, are we going to go on to the next?
Yeah, as we've only got 10
Can
minutes.
I ask Harrison to showcase all this stuff during the Q&A, because we have some images.
Yeah,
Just
that's
so
not a problem. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
So Pi can do the Westminster, and then I can talk about Waterloo.
I mean, I can talk about Westminster now if anybody wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to. If you want to talk
But-
about it now, why not? You know. It's just
Yeah,
talking shit.
basically, our main focus for the map has been Westminster, simply because if you go to London, the first thing you think of is Big Ben, the London Eye. So I thought we may as well get that area done first. So you come join the server, you see the two landmarks, and you instantly recognize where you are. And currently, we're probably about 90% the way through that area. And then we're going to be moving on to sort of, as mentioned earlier, the Aldgate area, where hopefully I can sneak in some hidden abandoned tube lines.
Sounds really cool. Sounds really cool.
What else is in Westminster, guys?
Trafalgar Square.
Yes, we have got Trafalgar Square.
The cenotaph.
The first build that we actually built in the server wasn't even any of the landmarks. It was St Thomas's Hospital, which sits
Yes, it
directly
was.
across
Oh yes, that
from
yeah.
Big Ben.
Yeah, one of the main things with building London is don't be afraid to redo a build, because just yesterday now, I pretty much completely rebuilt the outside of the House of Parliament, because I'd introduced a new block model for using fence gates, and now outside of Parliament looks so much better. I just seen a question there now, H3O Charles. Do you plan on building the rest of the UK as well? As currently, no.
No,
I
I
like my
think
sanity.
it's delicious.
Yeah, London is big on its own, especially in Minecraft. The whole of the UK is it would just take it wouldn't be possible.
No,
Because if you look at if you look at projects like Build the Earth, like I don't even think they're going to be able to completely build the Earth 100% simply because it's such a large area.
yeah. I would agree with that. Obviously, it's great to have that ambition, but you've got to be realistic in terms of. I mean, originally we for a time we were a part of Build the Earth, but we sort of went our separate ways because they had to use a different map projection that wasn't very accurate, and we sort of disagreed with that basically.
Yeah,
Um,
another thing with that is a lot of the UK is missing a lot of LiDAR data. Like the whole of Wales doesn't exist. The whole of
No.
Scotland doesn't exist.
So
And
real life then,
a lot of the north is missing off the UK LiDAR data. I think they're currently working on updating that this as of 2020 to have a lot more data. But yeah, there's a lot of places you just wouldn't be able to do simply because they're lacking the data.
I mean, even bits of London don't have LiDAR data. And if you ask one of us when you're on the server to have a look, we'll show you that there are big patches of land.
Yeah,
where
there's big chunks missing.
The
big chunks
northeast
missing.
of London is a little bit awkward,
Yeah,
especially around Barkingside, Newbury Park. There's
Yeah.
there's nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
If
houses.
you all want to start heading back to the stage so we can
Yeah,
do
okay.
sort of final talks, and then we'll be great there. But if
Yeah,
you
we've
wanna
only
obviously
got
carry
5
on-
minutes left. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want
I
to do a
think-
little bit of a talk about anything else, like I have a quick question if you
Yeah,
don't mind me asking. Why did you specifically pick those sort of areas to sort of start off with? What sort of areas did you sort of look for the best starts?
Westminster, simply because Westminster, when you go to London, it's the most recognisable area. You go there, you recognise the Big Ben, you instantly know where you are. Because if, say, we'd built, I don't know, a pub in the middle, you wouldn't have a clue where you are. You could be in Scotland for all you know.
yeah, that's the iconic. So, I mean, also we also have a Patreon that we're going to let people vote. After we've done Aldgate area, we're going to let people actually vote where next that we will go. So sort of giving that bit of audience interaction. Now, what I will want to end on is obviously we are run out of time.
Yeah, we are.
I didn't actually. You know,
Can I quickly just say, the slide that he's on right now, that is a screenshot of slide that he was just on. is a screenshot of our dynamic map, which we literally yesterday we finally fixed, so it shows the texture pack, and it looks there you go. It looks like my mind is still blown by it. Just basically that whole side of that block of the Waterloo block is pretty much done, and it looks really like we're like immensely proud of it, and we don't like to kind of it's something bigger than ourselves, you know. So
we have got a lot to talk about. If any of you like have any more questions or want to know more about the project, I'm sure we can go live ourselves from the London project after this.
We have our booth, so I know someone has asked what our Discord link is. It sometimes pops up in the chat because we're one of the sponsors. Alternatively, head on to our booths. It's one of the few large booths on the menu. You'll recognise it. It's a big bit of chunk of Waterloo that's there. You just walk in and the signs are clickable, so just click on the links and go follow us.
Right. Should we move on quick because we've only got like I think 4 minutes left?
It's okay. If we go over by a little bit, it's not a problem.
Ah, okay, that's fine.
It's just the disabled gamer is going to be annoyed. That's all. It's not a
What
problem
I
though.
say now is we'll end on a special announcement.
Yes, definitely.
I've been looking forward to saying this. So basically, for those who don't know, this year, well, every year since 2000, London has been the real London we're talking about here, has been host to a massive, massive fireworks display on New Year's Eve. And New Year's Eve, it's obviously a special time, and it's for a lot of Britons actually quite a tradition to tune in and watch the fireworks live, countdown, and see the show because it's one of the best in the UK, if not the highlights, standouts in fireworks shows. Now, earlier this month, the Mayor of London, he actually announced that, really sorry, but due to obvious reasons like Corona, that they're actually going to be cancelled this year. The show is not going ahead. They may do something else as a substitute. They haven't confirmed anything as of speaking, but we've thought. Well, I had the idea anyway that we have most of that area of London built where they do the fireworks display. So the Big Ben, the Shell Tower, which you actually see lit up on the page now, the special announcement page, that's all done. And obviously Big Ben as well, the House of Parliament. So we've taken it upon ourselves to do a New Year's fireworks display in Minecraft, live streamed at midnight on New Year's Eve. So we are currently building a live show to very as closely as possible recreate the real deal. So we'll have the countdown, we'll have music, we'll have an audio server, so you'll hear things like Big Ben chime midnight, and we're going to try and go live as places as many places as we can, and try and bring you an experience like no other, having fireworks in some form. If you can't see it in real life, you can live stream it at midnight Minecraft.
Right. That was absolutely fantastic. Can everyone give a massive round of applause and hype to the London project? Thank you guys for joining us. We really do appreciate it. It was absolutely phenomenal learning about it. And obviously